I've been looking a little into the forecast. It seems like we're going to get good weather for the next little while.
Yep.
Is this going to help the market?
Well, good weather obviously helps the market. I mean, people want to look at homes when the weather's nice. No one wants to see it in the snow and the cold weather and the rain. So obviously it's going to help. But
the problem is there's no homes to look. Not very many homes to look at.
Well, funny you say that, Barb. We're under 4,000 listings like we were last week. We're very similar to last week. I think we were 39 something last week. We're 3985 listings on the market right now. So under 4,000, which I keep waiting for them to hit. They're just not hitting. Of that, only 498 of them are condos right now. So we're under 500 for condos.
Wow,
I think that's down,
such a
isn't it?
change from a few years ago.
Well, a few years ago, we were at 2,300. Like, I remember they wrote an article. We said this before. They wrote an article when we were at about 17 or 1,800 condos on the market. And they were saying, this market's in trouble. There's too many condos. Well, the year after, we were at 2,300. It got absolutely terrible.
A lot of people got hurt.
A lot of people got hurt. And I still remember in that time frame, I was telling people, you can't sell your condo. You got to rent it out. Don't sell. People are like, you're a realtor. You're telling us not to sell. I'm like, yes, I want to do what's right for you. So don't sell.
Come back.
And even though they were cash flow negative, they were still ahead of the game to hang on, right?
Oh yeah, they had to hang on. I know a lot of people did hang on. A lot of people are thanking us that they did hang on because the market is the way it is right now, and the condo market's a huge part of our market. And when you think about residential. Detached, there's 3,135 on the market, and row units like townhomes, there's only 180 townhomes on the market in all of Ottawa.
Wow.
And we're talking going all the way to Deep River to way out to Plantagenet.
That market is crazy. I mean, my first-time buyers, my heart goes out to first-time buyers right now. Like, we're having more conversations about going into purchase scenarios, insured mortgages less than 20% down, and I can't have a financing condition. I've never had as many conversations as I have this year saying, okay, because, I mean, normally we'll say, you need CMHC or Genworth or Canada Guarantee, you need a financing condition. Like, I can give you the comfort all day long, you're going to get approved, but it comes down to the property, right?
Yeah.
And so many conversations with first-time buyers, and they're uncomfortable. They're like, I'm not comfortable having a financing condition. And the realtors are saying, you're not going to get a property if you have a financing condition.
100% agree. We had a scenario this week where one of my agents was going into a multiple offer, and the mortgage broker told her, you have to put a financing condition in there. I looked at her and I said, you're not getting this house. You're not getting it. I said, tell that mortgage broker to step up and do their job. And it's true. Tell that mortgage broker. It was a townhouse that was reasonably priced. It was going to go for a reasonable amount. There was no issue with that getting approved.
Canada, Barrhaven, Orleans.
Yeah, and so she said to me, she goes, well, the mortgage broker is telling them they have to go in with a financing condition. I said, well, tell them they're not getting the house. There's going to be 5-6 offers on it. They're not getting the house. They're wasting their time.
I just like to put the risks out there. I will say, I'll go through all of it with them, and then I'll say to people, you are in the best position you can be in to go in without a financing condition.
Yeah.
Like your covenant is strong. The property, I read the listing, nothing weird about the listing, and then I just have the conversation of, okay, if you pay $60,000 over asking, and they want an appraisal, which typically with insured they don't, but if it falls outside of that box for the auto hit, and you can't get the value, then you're on the hook for the difference in what they value it at and what you pay.
But even with you, at least there's options. There's different people that you could go to. It's not like you're tied to one bank and you're going in, without any conditions.
No, I mean insurer based, but there's 3 insurers. But the market is dictating the values of these properties, right?
Yeah.
So far, knock on wood.
That's pretty much wood.
Yeah. The market is supporting the values because the property that sold 4 doors down 2 months ago was also $50,000 over asking. Right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Paul, I got a text from my daughter last night. I guess she was on your site, saw a listing for a condo at $299. She's going, I'm moving to Ottawa. $299. She's in Toronto. This is unbelievable.
$299 wouldn't even get you a bathroom in Toronto.
It's true. And then she said, at least maybe I should get an investment property. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I'm one of these Toronto people who are living in these $1 million homes and you can shell out, $300,000-$400,000 for an investment, that's cheap for those Toronto people. Okay. Barb, let me ask you a question. I don't expect you to know the answer because this is not your field, but we're talking about the average sale price, how it's just skyrocketing with all these multiple offers. Year to date, what do you think the average sale price is up year to date?
I listened to the show. I think the average sale price is over 4 now, is it not?
Oh, 400,000?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it
Percentage, you
is.
look at percentage?
Percentage-wise. What percentage-wise do you think it's gone up year to date?
Kind of loosely use 3%, but I think it's closer to 6, isn't it?
Good. That's really good. It's actually 7.8, which is, you think about the market, you think about all these multiple offers, you think of people paying $50,000, $60,000 over asking price, yet the average sale price is only up 7.8%.
Yeah, and last year they were up how much? Maybe 3%?
No, last year the number of sales was up 10%, and the average sale price was up 5.5. So it was even a healthy market last year.
So that's not bad. You're like 12, a little more than 12% in 2 years. That's pretty good.
So if you bought, let's say, a townhome 2 years ago, you're loving life right now.
And they even went up more, right? Townhomes have gone up even more than that 7%.
Oh, you take a look at certain pockets. There's certain pockets that have gone up 16, 70%. Like there's areas that have gone up drastically over the last year.
You know what's crazy is I now, believe it or not, I know my youth and all, but I'm an empty nester. My second daughter just went away to school, and I'm in a 2,000 square foot, 3-bedroom, finished basement, single in Stittsville. I'm like that mark. Gonna get a great price for my home, absolutely. What am I buying?
Yeah, that's the problem. Because you're probably buying what, a townhome? Are you going down?
Around the corner, $460 for an end unit. Like I can't wrap my head around that.
Yeah.
And you're cutting through your backyard, and it's a great time to sell, but what are you going to buy?
Yeah, I made the comment, and I think Steve, you used it as a clip last week for the show. One of the things I said, it would be ideal if you had to sell here and you were moving to another city.
Yeah.
Which was like a city that maybe was a little bit,
like London. I
like
could move
depressed
home.
a little bit.
I could move home to London, but I don't know.
I don't know what the London market's like. I'm sure it's still pretty active.
I think so. I mean, it's not as aggressive as the Ottawa market. Obviously, I don't think it grows as much. It's funny, every time I go back a couple of times a year, everything is still just the same.
Yeah.
Whereas, if you left Stittsville and didn't come back for 2 years and you drove out there now, you'd be, holy mackerel, where are all these people coming from? Who is buying all of these homes?
You know what's going on right now is there's construction, not only of houses, but roads. Everywhere you go, there's road construction and house construction. It's crazy in suburbia right now.
Yeah.
Especially in Orleans. You can't drive down a road in Orleans without, those beacons or pylons, whatever they call them. It's crazy.
You have to have an appetite for that too. Like when it's your first time buyer, whatever, your late 20s, early 30s, you've got the appetite for the dirt and no grass and no driveway.
That's a
and
new home.
It's a new home.
That's a
but
new home.
No trees.
I find as we, Steve, as you age, you maybe don't have the same appetite for that.
Yeah, I haven't found that. Of course, I haven't aged yet.
But even being in Ottawa, we talk about the crazy markets that the Torontos have gone through and the crazy market that the Vancouvers have gone through, and the peaks and valleys are just humongous. With us, our year-to-date number of sales is only up 4.3%, and the average sale price is only up 7.8. So it's still a really, I'm going to call it modest moving market. It's not a crazy moving market like
We're
the
so
Torontos.
lucky here. We are so lucky.
We
here.
are.
Unless you're a buyer right now.
Well, you're a buyer right now. It's frustrating. It's so frustrating. I looked at our numbers actually the other day. Our selling business, like our listing business, is on par. Our buyer business is what's really struggling right now because it's so hard trying to find houses for these buyers, and they're,
Well, if you find it, then you're into a competition, right?
You need a good agent. I have that conversation with my clients.
You
Who's
need
your agent? Do you trust them? Or they need to be a little bit aggressive, yet protect your interests. But you need an agent who's going to pretty much say, this is what we need to do. Are you good with that? Or you're not getting it.
You need a connected agent too. You need someone like, we're very connected around the city where we'll pick the pockets of other agents in the city and say, listen, what do you got coming up? Tell me what you have coming up. But sometimes it's better to go to market because you're going to get the multiple offers rather than buy it before it hits the market.
You always need a good agent, but now especially, whether you're buying or selling. If you're selling right now, you could be leaving a lot of money on the table.
I think that's...
If you have the wrong agent,
see,
you get somebody that wants to come in and just flip. They sell maybe 2-3 homes a year. They just want to take it really quick.
Yep.
They may lowball.
We've seen it time and time again. And Barb, actually, we talked about it before getting on the air. And she's like, you know what? The psyche is this market's so good that maybe we can sell our own house. The problem is we're seeing time and time again people who are either listed with somebody or not listed with somebody. And we look at what they sell for and we're like, ugh. I know you think you did the right thing by saving commission, but you left thousands and thousands of dollars on the table because I know if I would have listed that house, it would have went for $430, not $400, right?
Yeah.
And it's just even in a really, really good seller's market right now, you still need the right people representing you because the difference between, let's say, asking price and $30,000 over asking price is a lot of money.
But here's the deal: what a lot of people don't realize, if you list yourself, your chances are you're going to pay another agent anyway.
There's
2.5.
For whoever.
almost like up in the 90% chance, yes.
So now you're selling your own property without representation.
and you're paying someone to negotiate against you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So most chances, there's a very, very high probability that you are paying another agent to negotiate against you. So what are you really saving? Are you saving a couple percent here and there? Maybe 2-3%. Are you saving that?
I
No,
think-
it's what's in your pocket is what you want to look at, not what someone's charging you. It's what's in your pocket. Because if I can get you right near asking price, or I can get you well over asking price, do the math. Do the math. It's very, very simple. And we prove it time and time and time again. And it's a double-edged sword when I see people who are trying to sell their own home, and I see what happens to them, and I say to myself, I feel really bad you did that. But then in the end, I'm like, no, you cheaped out. You didn't do the right thing, and you deserve what you got.
But I understand. I get people that look at the numbers and go, man, I could save $30,000. And if that was the case,
But
great. You're
Yeah.
saving $30,000.
They're not doing the math on the 2.5. That's the thing. You sell for 5, and you're thinking $25,000 at 5%, but it's really only 12.5 if you're paying that 2.5.
Well, it could be more than 2.5.
12.5 plus what you're losing out.
Yeah.
But it could be more than that. It's not naturally 2.5%. It's whatever we want to bring that offer. And I'm telling you, if you're selling your own house, I'm bringing an offer at, I want 4%.
Yeah.
I want
or
more.
3
Yeah,
anyway.
I want at least 3. Like,
Yeah.
because you're selling your own home, and then you're now paying me to negotiate against you, and I guarantee I'm going to beat you up on price. I
Yeah.
guarantee it.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I'm trained
Well,
to
it's
do.
your business.
That's what I'm trained to do. Right? So anyways, we can go on a rant about that, but it's just.
Well, no, but at least even if you're thinking of selling privately, at least bring some people in and talk to them and see where you stand.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't hurt.
Because we're
No,
seeing lots of errors out there. And Steve, I send you probably one a week. I send you an example of a listing that we've taken over that has been on the market for 60, 70, 80 days with someone else, and we sell it within a week. And probably send you one or two at least a week of those.
But the funny thing is, you're not selling it for 30 or 40% less. You're listing it at basically the same
price.
amount.
Yeah.
But it's your marketing that drives it and gets it done.
Marketing photographers, yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's all part and parcel, right?
Yeah.
You've got an agent marketing against you in a very competitive environment, right?
Very.
So
Yeah.
My favorite part when Barb is here, the Did You Know segment, where you can literally see smoke come out of her ears.
no, because I've got the headphones on.
You'll notice that Paul videos these shows now and puts them up on Facebook. And
Yeah. Social media.
so look for the smoke coming out of Barb's ears.
Bow, chicka,
Okay.
wow, wow.
I want all the listeners to know that every week I'm here, I ask him not to do that, and every week.
I didn't do that. You pressed a button there that automatically plays that. People know how radio works around
Lies,
here.
Paul,
It's in her
lies.
smartphone.
Okay.
I hear it through the
Yeah.
headphones.
So do I.
Did you know, a little bit of this came up in the first segment, so people who are buying a new property but keeping their existing property as a rental. From a capital gains perspective, it is in your best interest to get an appraisal at the time you start to rent your income property, because you're going to pay capital gains on the amount at the time you started to rent it to the time you sell it versus what you bought it at 5 years ago and the time you sell it.
It's not. You said it's recommended. It's a must.
It's a must.
It's a must. You're losing thousands of dollars if you don't. Because if you buy a house for $300,000 and you live in it for a few years, and let's say it's worth now $350,000.
Or $450 if it's a
Hold on.
townhome.
So let's say it's worth $350,000 and you don't get an appraisal, and then you rent it out and you go to sell it years after. It's at $4,000. You'll be paying capital gains on what you paid for it, $300,000, to what you sold it for, $400,000.
Well, you imagine 10 years ago, if you bought a townhouse, you'd pay what, $280,000? 10 years
Yeah.
ago?
Oh, well, less than that.
Less than that?
Less than
And
that.
now you'd be selling it for $420-ish?
Or 20, depending on what area you're
Yeah.
in. So
And
yeah,
So strong recommendation there. Get an appraisal. Spend the money, get the appraisal, tuck it away, you've got it, and
Yeah.
then you've got it for tax purposes.
yeah. So once you decide to turn your principal residence into a rental property, get an appraisal at that date so you don't pay capital gains on the full amount. It's an absolute must. And you know what? People don't know that, and people don't do it. It's
And appraisals, I mean, they're not extremely expensive, right? It's like, I mean, $400 in town, you're getting and we can recommend. I mean, when we're having conversations with clients who are going to keep their properties as a rental, that's a piece of advice we give. Get your appraisal, recommend this firm, recommend this person.
Does it have to be a formal appraisal, or can a real estate agent do it?
I'd say formal appraisal.
I would probably get a formal appraisal or get a couple real estate agents to do it. We've had a number of people, and we have a like a proper form. We don't go into as much detail as what an appraiser would do, but we have a form that we use that outlines, what we used as comparables. We took the pictures, the square footage, what we think of the house, the condition of the house, and obviously what we believe to be the price of that home right now.
Is there a cost for that?
Yes, we do charge for that. So very similar to, we don't charge that if you're going to list the property with us.
You're not, that's why, as a realtor, do I want to come in and say, here's what I think your home is valued at, and there's nothing in it for me? Not to make it sound like that.
No, we'll charge.
It's your time.
We'll charge for an appraisal. If someone wants just an appraisal for either purpose of a buyout or for a purpose of
divorce
or whatever, we will charge for an appraisal. Wow, that was the quickest segment in history.
And there'll be a paper trail?
Yes, absolutely, a paper trail. Absolutely.
Now, if it were you, would you go ahead, spend that few $100s and get a formal appraisal?
I probably would, yes.
I think I would.
Yeah,
I would too.
yeah. Get a
I would too.
formal appraisal just so you have it, and get a formal appraisal.
Are we going to break?
Yeah, we went
you
long
wanna
in the
say
first
anything?
segment, I guess.
Okay.
See, it is working.
It's working. I'm here.
Yeah.
Anissa, you get the third segment.
Getting a complex.
521-TALK, 521-8255. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's preparation time now for the fall market.
Yep.
Is there anything I would need to know as a seller, given the situation of the low listings, that is different this year than would be going into any other fall market?
No, I don't think anything different other than be prepared. Depending on what time you're going to list your property. We've talked about this before, and I was a culprit of not doing it myself, but I would probably be getting a professional photographer in, and if you're listing with us, we list you exclusive if you want. You don't have to hit the market right away. We'll get a professional photographer to come through the door. Get all your pictures now. The leaves are starting to turn, yes, but you still have your patio furniture out. The grass still looks good. The gardens still look good. Get your photography now. I don't care if you're listing in on November, December, January, February. Do the photography right now. That way you can start putting all your stuff away and getting ready for the fall and the winter.
So if I don't want to list with you until November,
Yep.
can I get your photographer in to sign a contract with you now? Get your photographer in, at least have that done?
Yes, I would strongly recommend doing that. One, it gives us a lot of lag time to do what we have to do to prepare your house for the market. We don't put a sign up. We won't even take pictures if you don't want right now. But you should do them right now because
Just keep them in the bank. Right?
Just keep them in the bank. Yeah, just keep them in the bank. But then you don't have to hit the market right now. We're not saying you're going to get any showings, but if we call you one day and said, "Hey, listen, I got a perfect person for you," you won't even have to hit the market. Can we bring them by? That could happen as well. But most likely it just allows us the prep time, get the pictures done, and just get you ready for the market. So it doesn't matter when you're getting ready to list. We can sign a contract and do all the work right now.
I have a question.
And I probably have the answer.
I'm raising my hand.
Yes, your turn.
In this competitive market that we're in right now, does it affect that part of the process? Right? When there's so few listings, is the whole be ready first, get the pictures done, get while your patio furniture's out and all of that stuff, is it as an important piece of the puzzle because of the market we're in?
Well,
I know it's an important piece of the puzzle. I don't want to diminish
but I'm
it.
talking about if you don't want to list right away, right? If you want to list in a few months, should you get this done now?
Yes, if you're going to list in a few months, yes, get this done right now. But I like what Barb's saying too. Like, I think what you're trying to say is,
Will
do
it
I
sell
have to
anyway?
do all that prep work, or
Yeah.
can I just get on the market and sell it? And the true answer to that is, it might cost you a little bit of money by not getting it ready and prepped, but it's going to sell. So that's the point. Like right now, over the last probably 5 years, we were in a market. We transitioned from a market where people wanted big properties and big homes to then people wanting small properties and smaller homes. We also were in a market where your house had to show absolutely perfect, or you weren't even selling, not even getting an offer. You weren't selling. If someone had to do work, no one wanted to do work.
Because they had a lot of options, right? You move on to the next one.
We're in a market right now that even if you have a little bit of work to do, I would get your home on the market, depending on what the work is. I mean, I'm not going to tell you right now to go replace kitchens and bathrooms just to go get your house on the market to sell it. Just price it accordingly. But we have a bigger appetite in this market for uglier homes than we ever have.
If you have one room in the house, I don't want to blame teenagers, but I remember when I was a teenager, I don't think my paint color choices were the best.
Yeah.
So let's say you have one that's maroon or orange or something.
Black.
You should probably at least get that room painted, correct?
Yeah, 100%.
Because you don't want a negative. You don't want somebody walking through the house, go, oh, it's nice, and
Yeah.
Like any negative is not good, right?
Yeah, if you had to have a room that was a different color, I guess the kids' rooms would probably be okay. As long as your main floor and your main areas are a nice neutral color, once you start getting into all the other different colors, like if you have a main room that your dining room's, maroon and your living room's blue and that, now you do have to paint, 100% have to paint. And I strongly suggest bringing a professional painter, because I've seen people who have painted their house only for me to walk in and say, you now have to repaint your house.
Yeah, because
Just
it's worse. It's
do it properly.
A bad paint job is
It's
worse.
worse than not doing anything, for sure.
Clutter too. What about clutter?
Get rid of it. The reason you get rid of clutter shows a bigger square footage.
Definitely.
The cleaner you have your house, the larger the square footage shows.
Clutter and
Same is true for the appraisals, right? So reducing clutter, we just saw last week that the appraisal went up from 322 to 350 just because she removed clutter from her house.
Yep.
Wow.
birthdays.
Have to do it again, Sherry. Sorry. Milestone birthday for Sherry this Friday. The big 5-0. Happy birthday, Doobie.
This past Friday.
Nope, this Friday coming up. Frank did it last week because Frank
Oh.
wanted to wish Sherry happy birthday.
Well,
But now it's actually in the week of the birthday, so we get to do it again. And milestone, big milestone, Sherry. 5-0. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Sherry. I have one, Eric Vesna from my team. The reason I know, because it popped up today on Facebook. I don't usually do birthdays, but Eric, happy birthday, bud.
Happy birthday, Eric.
How do we get a hold of you?
For me, I have people at the office right now, 788-2122, or Paul at paulrushforth.com. Paulrushforth.com is the website.
MortgageBrokersOttawa.com, 613-798-1973.
Okay, and Advanced Make is advancedmic.com. You can reach me after the show at 613-656-0869.
Hold on,
Hey,
Barb.
I-
What's your
I
number
don't-
again?
613-656-0758.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't call the general number.
Have a great weekend, folks.